Today we are in Midway at Cay Creek Interpretive Center. This place is important to me because it has all of the natural flora that exists for this ecosystem. It's representative of undeveloped nature, and it represents the kind of life that Susie King Taylor would have been engaging with during her lifetime here on the Georgia coast. So we're 30 miles from the ocean. The Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Corridor consists of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. 30 miles inward is the corridor. And we're within the corridor. What's important about this is that it is so adjacent to the ocean. The ocean is critical to Gullah Geechee survival. From the point of view of a food source, the ocean is a food source. But for Susie King Taylor, it was her route of escape. And so the ocean has so many meanings for different people. I am Hermina Glass-Hill. I am a historian by profession and also an ocean advocate, working with communities to protect the ocean and to protect communities from sea level rise, flooding, all of those environmental impacts that harm communities. And also restoring the biodiversity of the ocean. Well, Susie King Taylor was this incredible human who escaped slavery at the age of 13 years old. She was literate. She attended secret schools in Savannah. And when the war broke out, she returned back to this area, this place where we're standing now, to be with her family and to escape. She used her literacy for the benefit of other runaways who were rescued by the Union Navy, and she therefore became the first federally funded teacher from the state of Georgia. And she went on to open a school after the war. She came back and opened a business here, but by the end of Reconstruction, she had gone to Boston, and she thought that Boston was where she could find and live in true freedom, and she remained there. And so we have formed the Susie King Taylor Women's Institute and Ecology Center because all of this nature helped to shape who she was as a person. We have to understand that we are part of this larger circle of life, and nature is a critical component to our lives that we celebrate at the Susie King Taylor Women's Institute. I have been telling Susie King Taylor's story in Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta, and I was traveling across the country sharing her story, and I went to the place where her former plantation was that she escaped from. And there's this creek that's adjacent to a certain area of the plantation. I just wanted to get a feel, a lay of the land, a lay of the geography that would have shaped her, the geography that she shaped and interacted with, to have this authentic experience. And so I am at this creek, and I'm standing there and I'm meditating and I'm praying, and I am also calling her name as an ancestor. And my husband, he's like way somewhere, but I'm there in stillness. And I'm at the water's edge, and I'm thinking about all the things that I know about her. And this wind just comes out of nowhere off of the water and rushes around me. And I'm thinking, like, what is this? And I look at my husband, and I'm still feeling this spiritual presence around me in the wind, and the water is just slowly, calmly moving. And the Spirit of God says, you have to move here. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a wife, I'm a friend, I'm a colleague. And Atlanta is where I was born and raised. And the Spirit is telling me, you have to leave. And I'm like, whoa. So I turn to my husband and I say, did you feel that? He's like, no. I was like, we have to move here. He's like, why? I said, I think God just spoke to me. And so on our drive home, I tell my husband, it was so real. It was real. And we worked out a plan, he and I, because our kids are grown. And 3 months later, we moved down here. We packed up, put everything on the back of a U-Haul, and we moved here. I don't know a soul. Everybody I know here. I didn't know them before I moved here. And it was because of the water. It was because of the powerful, compelling story of Susie King Taylor. It was because of the power of the land to speak. And you have to be centered and still to hear that. And that was my epiphany. And it probably has brought me the greatest joy in my 55 years of life. I wake up with so much joy. I go to the ocean every day. I'm so close to it. There's not a week that goes by that I'm not here or at the ocean or going to a nature preserve, because it's important to me. It's what brought me here. We are in the process of applying for an underground railroad designation from the National Park Service. And that's important because Susie King Taylor escaped from this place. And she has a narrative that's like intact. She has her book, and then there's the landscape, and then there are the historic sites. And we are looking to build out an underground railroad, Escape to Freedom Park, dedicated to her. Humans who've had this experience under oppressive systems like slavery, economic slavery, chattel slavery, environmental slavery. This place really shows you how we actually can live in harmony with nature.